Herman Donovan regarding the retirement of a man named Thomas Poe Cooper. Cooper was the Dean of the College of Agriculture as well as the Director of Extension Services and the Experiment Station, the Ag Experiment Station Farm, from 1918 until 1951. He was also acting president from 1940 to 1941. In his impressive 33-year service to the college, Cooper managed to enlarge the agriculture program to twice its original number of graduating students. He also expanded the Experiment Station Farm to well beyond its original size. Extension programs were developed during this time that completely were transformed and brought into even today's time of the college. The lives of staff and students were completely transformed and completely tremendously impacted by his doings in his 33 years. Research that found answers to some of agriculture's most vexing problems at the time was conducted. Upon his retirement, Cooper was awarded the Sullivan Medallion, which is an award given to individuals who have dedicated their time and effort to improving the lives of others and wanting to help others. Also upon his retirement, Cooper was named Dean Emeritus of the College of Agriculture. This is just some of the vast history that this man possesses, as well as some of the many accomplishments that he made during his time here at the university. While serving his 33 years at the college, Cooper lived in a mid-sized house that stood at the head of the original Experiment Station Farm for the College of Ag. It was an original 48.5-acre farm that reached back behind the house, up past Commonwealth and in that direction. During his term, Cooper expanded the farm upward, northward, to about 600 acres above the original 48.5. That's why this farm later became known as the South Farm. So the house stands at the head of the old South Farm. We now know this house as the Cooper House, which stands on top of a hill on the corner of Cooper Drive and Nicholasville Road.
It is here that we became passionate about the idea to give the Cooper House a new purpose. We decided to implement our idea at the Cooper House because of its great location. Like she said, it's located at the corner of two very busy roads, Cooper and South Limestone, which makes it very noticeable and easy to access and find. It's also very close to the College of Agriculture, which makes it very easy for students and faculty to commute back and forth. It can also be used as an area for like a location to connect the rest of the university to maybe a part of the College of Ag they've maybe not known about or heard about. And another good thing is that it's actually very close to some student housing off campus as well as residential neighborhoods. The first thing that we want to implement in the Cooper House is a dining area. We decided to call this dining area Cafe at the Cooper House. We decided to name this because not only will it be in a cafe setting, but cafe actually also stands for College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Science. We think that it should also have an interior floor plan that reminds college students of home. Since we will be serving Kentucky Proud Foods that resemble mom's cooking, we feel like it's imperative to also look the part. The next thing we want to add is like a small retail store on the inside for products that are made by the university. This store won't be limited to the College of Ag, but we feel like, for example, the university could use this place to maybe advertise some College of Ag products. I know I receive day in and day out emails about the university or the Ag department pushing products or promotion for like many items. Like I get emails about rain jacket fleece coats and like agribusiness club t-shirts. This would be a great place to promote these items for people to come in and purchase these things. The next thing we want to do is use the space upstairs for a rental space for anybody who needs to use it for like event purposes. This space could be used for anything from open mic to like Bible study to small speech groups. We really want to make it known that this space is available for everyone to use. And again, our location makes it easy for us to get the word out. Also, organizations will be advertising themselves, which gives people more knowledge about us that may not have known about the Cooper House. The last thing we want to implement is some office spaces, maybe for some student teachers who maybe don't have an office at Barnhart. They can have a spot at the Cooper House, maybe work on their things. The university could also use it for maybe more meeting space. We just really feel that it's in a great location for all faculty to be able to walk anywhere, which we feel like they would really appreciate.
Thomas Cooper accomplished so many things over his years here at the college, growing the foundation for the agricultural department that we have today. By utilizing this Cooper House, the College of Agriculture and the university will benefit in many ways. By bringing local food into the cafe at the Cooper House, local farmers will be united with the college, and through these relationships, both the local farmers and the College of Agriculture will have many doors open for them and lots of opportunities that will be available to both. This new Cooper House will also give the college somewhere to sell their products, such as those that are at Coldstream Farm and at the Butcher Shop. These student programs will have a retail location that is easy to find and access. Currently, neither the Butcher Shop or Coldstream Farm have somewhere that is easy to access. Many of you may not know where the Butcher Shop is or how to get meat from them. This will allow the Cooper House will allow the College of Agriculture to turn the infrastructure into a business opportunity by selling both meals at the cafe and the products at a profitable and reasonable rate. Not only will these ideas benefit the College of Agriculture, but also the university as a whole. By having jobs and internships, students of many programs in different colleges such as business, finance, hospitality management, and dietetics and human nutrition will play a role in implementing these ideas and help maintain this project. The cafe at the Cooper House will be a hub for the College of Agriculture to truly showcase itself, and including what it has accomplished in the past, where it is presently, and where it will be in the future.
Okay, so now that you've heard our idea, where do we go from here? We're going to start out by looking into historically preserving the building, the Cooper House itself, so that its history may live on. Once we figure out the restrictions and limitations, we're then going to look into grants that is going to pay for these renovations and the actual historic preservation of the building. And then we're going to look into renovations. We'll have to contact contractors in order for them to give us a blueprint of the renovations and things like that that we can do based on our restrictions and limitations, because we don't want to take away from this historic value of the house. And then overall cost. Once we figure out how much the renovation is going to cost us, we can then start adding in the cost for the cafe. This is equipment, furniture, and types of things like that. And then from there, we're going to plan and create a budget of those total costs. Let us know what range we're going to be in, what we can afford as to opposed to what we overall want to achieve. You have to have a budget in order to create this idea. You don't want to go way out there and spend tons of money if you're not going to get that back in revenue. And then ultimately, we're going to involve the Food Connection. They are going to manage the project, and they will continue to manage it as it moves forward and the cafe begins to establish itself. And then we not only want it to be a business revenue, but we want it to be a learning opportunity for the students, not only to the College of Ag, but to the university as a whole. The way that we want to implement this is by offering internships. Internships that will allow students to gain knowledge in their field of study while also earning credits. These are just some of the different colleges that we want to implement. We have the College of Design. There's a program in historic preservation that can help us with helping us implement our plan while also staying in our regulations and limitations. And then architecture will actually help us with the renovations of the building. And then interior design, we want to give that home feeling. We want to make it feel like a cafe as well, and they're going to help us do that. And then the College of Business, we're going to need a business plan. We're going to sell products. We're going to need a business plan. We're going to need to know what all of our costs are going to be and what type of revenue that we intend to generate. And then from there, finance. We're going to have to know what type of finances that are going to have to go into the total project to know what our overall cost is going to be. And then accounting. We're going to need someone to record daily sales and cost revenues and things like that, not only in the beginning, but more on a daily basis, so that we know that we're generating a profit and that we're not wasting anyone's time. And then from there, the College of Arts and Science, we really want to showcase the university as a whole. So this could be a place for students to showcase their art as well as their music in the event space. We offering an open mic night, types of things like that, where people can come play their music and sing and things of that nature. And then obviously the College of Agriculture. We want to involve the economics department with the managing and the overall structure of the market. And then landscape architect, we want to historically preserve the building, but then we also want the landscape to be very beautiful. We wanted to showcase the College of Agriculture. So you want to see lots of flowers and trees and things like that, things that'll make you think of home. And then hospitality management, we're obviously going to need a kitchen staff. Hospitality management can actually manage that staff and maybe even create it as well. We're looking into other aspects as far as hospitality management, but they can actually become a part of the cafe itself as well as with the creation of the food. And then community and leadership management, as we said, we want an event space, and they can actually be the ones to manage the events that are going to take place there and also get the community involved. And then merchandising and apparel, like I said, we want to implement UK products, and it would be nice to have a team that comes together that takes care of that aspect for us, as well as the apparel like the hoodies and things like that. We believe if you see it instead of a prototype that you're more likely to buy it.
This program will be very beneficial for the College of Agriculture and for the university as a whole. It will provide a new venue for the College of Ag to sell things that they produce. It will provide a valuable learning experience for students that participate, and it will provide healthier food choices for students on this part of campus, which we sorely lack right now. As we talked about earlier in the presentation, Thomas Cooper was very influential in the development of the College of Agriculture. The Ag Experiment Station and the work he did with farmers in the state of Kentucky was very dear to him. He was very passionate about that. He loved his work here, and he especially loved this college so much so that he made it his home, physically and emotionally. I think we can all agree that the Cooper House is very much a part of a rich history here at the University of Kentucky and here at the College of Agriculture. It represents where we came from, and it serves as a reminder of how far we've come. What we want to do is use the Cooper House to preserve this history, and while at the same time helping to shape our future here. Thank you very much.
We have a fun little addition.
Yeah.
We made shirts that say Save the Cooper House. We know that the Cooper House was on the list of 11 buildings that were considering being knocked down or completely demolished. We had read a few articles about that. Actually, after we had started doing our research, we were like, oh no. So that was a big thing that we came from. So yeah, that's what that came from. That's thanks to Brittany.
That ends the presentation. On that note.
You guys have me too, but they didn't want to take their shirts off.
I kind of shared mine.
There's glow in the dark, so everybody will know. I didn't know this until I woke up.
Let's turn off the camera before, no, I'm just like.
Blue on blue is kind of hard to read.
Yeah, but it was still cute.
You said it's glow in the dark?
Yeah, it goes, I didn't know this until I was getting up at 7 o'clock this morning and walked through the living room and I was like, what? I was like, they glow? Is that what that is? So they glow in the dark.
Right. We also, this is a model we drew, and we're not artists. We don't have Catherine's talents over here, but we did try our best, and if you look closely at it, it's hard to see from the seats, but we basically just drew what the outside of the Cooper House, what we envision it looking like, the brighter landscape, patio tables, a sign that says cafe at the Cooper House, maybe a few new painting additions to the outside of the building, some new landscaping, things to that nature, since we don't really know a whole lot about how the inside of the building will lay out at this point. So that's where that came from. And this is just a current picture of the Cooper House. Looks a lot different than it did in the 40s and 30s and 50s and way back. But it's really not as nice looking, and I think that's why the importance of redoing the outside will really advertise the place and make it an important place to be. Questions? Because I know there are some.
I've been to a lot of land-grant institutions, both as a student and as a faculty member. A lot of land grants have a lot of pride because they're in the College of Agriculture. I don't necessarily see that same pride here embodied in the physicality. I think that the new landscape on the plaza is a nice job, but there's not a massive connection because we're divided by a street and then an entire hospital. So I think the idea of this does a nice job of pulling together, rather than the little hot dog stand in Ag North.
Yeah.
This does a whole lot better job. Plus, I think my graduate students identified us as one of the massive food deserts in Lexington, this side of campus. And so there's nothing for us here unless you go to the hospital. And hospital food is great and all, but it's just not the same. So
Yeah.
this really would be a nice proposal to cure a lot of what has ailed the College of Ag. So I think that's a nice proposal to do so. And utilizing our own strengths in order to enhance it is a nice. And I was discussing when you guys were presenting this, there's Kentucky proud, there's Appalachian proud. It would be nice to be cafe proud, and not only with our food and the local stuff that we have here, but with our students. And so you could promote both the human product as well as the food products that would be existing through this.
Yeah. Like Erica had told us earlier, this is the first time that anything for this idea has been presented by students. So when we heard that, that's when the whole idea to really get everybody involved in the development and maintenance of this building. I think a building with all of this purpose and value in all of these different local food movements and ag movements and, you know, not curing, but helping problems that the College of Ag has and making it a student-run, obviously with advisors, but a student-run and maintained organization can really be promoted, and so it can be so many things. It's a learning environment. It's a place where experience can be grown, and we can promote all these goals of the college that I know are really important at this point.
I know one of our main goals was the College of Ag is kind of broken off to the rest of the university. So that's why we want to implement all these different internships, because we want to promote the College of Ag to the rest of the university. Because if you ask people, if I tell people, well, where's your class today? Oh, it's in Ag North. Well, where's that? Next to the hospital. There's classes down there?
Behind,
Yeah,
what's behind the
yeah,
hospital,
there's-
nobody knows.
No.
Walmart, like, is down that way, like, that's all we got. So that was another big thing when she said
And you can make a lot of cash on game day.
that. Yeah, we could, on game day and times where there's already a giant crowd of people, there's a lot of ideas that could be put there, countless.
Red team or those in the class, did you know the history that you got today?
Cooper was dean of the college for 33 years. That's the longest that we have ever had a dean in our history, and it's actually one of the longest deanship, length of a dean serving anywhere in the country as well. So he was in it to win it, man, and he did so much. And it's actually really funny. There's an entire chapter in a book that I was reading about the history of the College of Ag that was about the first time that they tried to build a dorm on the farm, which is, the farm was literally everything from the corner of Cooper to where everything is now. Like, I'm talking all the way up to the dorms and North Campus, and all of that was just a giant open farm. And the first time they presented the idea of building a dorm on the farm, Cooper essentially had a hissy fit. Like, the whole chapter was just a nice way of saying he freaked out. Like, so it's kind of sad that, like, it's all gone now. Like, it's completely gone, which we still have all the values that he built in the College of Ag, because it's still an amazing college, and we've still accomplished so much in our time now, but this house is really the only thing we have left of that original farm. Literally, it is the only thing we have left of that original farm.
Nice job, and I'm excited to see where and what former dean and current dean want to do and how they want to engage. There's a lot of stakeholders connected to this possibility, and they will have a significant role both in advocating and not advocating, right?
Yeah.
For it, so I'm excited, and I think it presents a lot of opportunity. I'm gonna put two people on the spot before we leave. Ashley, because I know you can handle it. Just your kind of initial reactions, a different tone, approach, and selection of clients. I'm curious your thoughts, and then Chandler, I'm gonna put you on the spot because you have quietly been a part of this class throughout the semester.
Well, I think there are a lot of really unique clients this year and a lot of really interesting ideas. Like, everybody had a very different approach about how to tackle each individual problem that they were faced. And I feel like, each team did a really great job of embracing what they had to do and accomplishing what they wanted to, what the purpose that they wanted to get for their clients. They really did a great job servicing each and every one of their clients, and that really stood out to me with all the presentations.
Nice, thank you. Chandler.
Overall, I've seen, from start to finish, how much hard work was put into all of this. Whenever we were in Salt Lake City, we did something similar, but we didn't have near as much time. So I know that, how much work gets put into all this. And I don't know, I think one of the biggest things that I noticed was that each team definitely marketed towards their company, tackled factors that were issues or focused on every aspect and entity, that was presented to you all. I think I didn't realize how creative each group had been or was in your presentations. Your ideas just went above and beyond my expectations for sure. And I think that shows a lot, and I don't know how you all feel about this, but this class is like any other class that I've ever taken before. It's very hands-on, and I think that everything that you implemented, everything that you practiced, everything that you did within this class, you'll be able to take and apply it to any future job, employment, interview. I hope you all agree that Erica's done just a phenomenal job with making it very hands-on and very realistic to the real world. So, good job.